About polygamy and whether you think it is the solution to single motherhood.
Starting on my far left is Grace Destiny, karibu sana K24 Alpha Jury, and then we have Mr. Gakwema. Welcome to K24 Alpha Jury, and then of course we have the Iron Lady Gladys Chania. Welcome to K24 Alpha Jury. Gathoni Wamuchomba will be joining us later on the show. Of course, she's been very vocal about this very subject, so we shall be really glad to have her, and also just so that she can clarify on this particular issue.
Today's show is going actually to identify the main drivers of polygamy in our community.
All right.
So I'm very passionate about it. Once again, welcome viewers. Thank you.
Yes. First of all, as we start, I'd like to know your individual views on polygamy. Grace, what do you think? Are you for or against it?
Definitely for.
For polygamy. All right. I like just how you're honest and you just, yes, I'm for it, it's okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
Mr. Gakwema?
Oh, I am for polygamy. And to start with, I know this is actually my personal view.
Okay.
I want to praise my woman lep, Gathoni Wamuchomba, for coming out courageously and saying that the men should go out there and marry as many wives as they can, so long as they can be able to afford it. Because this is a reality. This is where we are living in. And people are just burying their heads like the proverbial ostrich. So kudos to her because she has come out as a brave woman. She'll go to heaven because of her courage.
Okay, that's a ticket to heaven if you're supporting polygamy.
A ticket to heaven.
A ticket. Yes. Madam Chania, please.
About polygamy, of course, I think the word of course is coming out very candidly here. Of course, I'm not for polygamy.
Okay.
Yes, I'm anti-polygamy for so many reasons, psychologically, socially, economically, that will come out from this topic today.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so let's start from right there.
Yeah.
Psychologically, how does it affect?
Polygamy, of course, everyone as per today knows what is polygamy. And polygamy has been practiced since time immemorial, because even in the Old Testament we do read about it. But some of these things changes with the revolution of development of human life. Because human life, just like even animals or even trees, we have revolution as we go on with our lives. Our forefathers used to practice polygamy, and it used to be comfortably accommodated on some economical levels, but actually not on psychological levels, because by then we were not evaluating or analyzing the emotions or even stressors of life. It never used to occur. Just like today, the way we are trying to ignore the emotional or the developmental feelings of people as far as matters of love and embracing each other is concerned. Again, when we talk about polygamy today, and we knowing very well it has come from our traditions. Our traditional setup of lives was very different with our setups of lives today. When I think about my grandfather that I found being polygamous when we were growing up, I could go and see my first grandmother's hut there, my second grandmother's hut there, my third grandmother's hut there, and there are big portions of land that they were all going to till. And actually my grandfather was very comfortable to be brought for the harvest from his wives.
Okay.
Yeah? So it was, economically the harvest was ample.
Okay.
Nothing was going amiss. Education was not even as expensive. Yeah? It was you either reach whichever class and you are comfortable, a piece of land is waiting for you. But today, if we talk about many wives to one husband, one wife is a teacher at Mandera, the second wife is a nurse at Kisumu, the third wife is Madam Chania at Thika, and the husband is outside the country somewhere. That is the life that we are in today. So we have monogamy, we have polygamy, we have polyandry. So it is like we close this hole, we open another one. We close the monogamy, we open the polygamy. We close the polygamy, then we open the polyandry. Because the woman in Madeira, you don't know what she is doing. Okay. The wife in Kisumu don't know what she is doing. Right. Illnesses will come forth. A lot of immorality will come forth. So it is a debate.
All right, so according to you, Madam Chania, if I'm not wrong, is that as long as you are able to bring all your wives together, that's okay. But if you are living separately and you don't know what each and everyone is doing, that's where the problem comes in. If you're able to support them, then that's fine as well.
There is something we are ignoring here about women, and we have to agree. And I'm a woman empowerer.
Yes.
We are here today at the level that I am today because of the empowerment that has been done on women. We cannot water the women empowerment either on rights, on education, or on transformation that has been done by our predecessors leaders. It is like telling women that the steps we have made forth, and we are still continuing to fight even for the same rights even today. We water them when we say that a woman, a third wife or a fourth wife, this first wife and this second wife, in the nature of being added more women, it is being suppressed. You see? And so this first and second wife will be living in fear even of trying to breathe out loudly in case my breathing out won't please my husband. Then he had another seventh wife. Yeah? Because the first wife is the one who feels she's the one who's getting added for. So you add the second one, the first wife feel it. You add the third one, the second and the first feel it. You add the fourth one, the first, second, and third feel it. So it is like suppressing women and suppressing them. We have to agree about empowerment, that women have been empowered, and about marriages, and about, by the way, I think I don't want to miss the point of children, increasing children or increasing population. It can be increased even with singlehood. You know why? It's because it's not everybody who is single out of choice.
Okay, perfect. Grace, I'd like to know your views on this because, you know, like Madam Chania is saying that women empowerment has had an effect on polygamy. Do you agree with her?
My opinion is this. Women empowerment is the best thing that has ever happened in this nation. And we are so grateful to every person that has participated on this. And in my point of argument, for there to be polygamy, there must be something that is triggering it.
Okay. So
and
let's talk about those reasons, actually.
Number one, distance, just like Madam Chania has said. You realize that a man is living in Nairobi, the wife is in up country because of reasons like they can't just be able to bring the family to Nairobi because of expenses and everything, or the wife is also located to work somewhere else, like maybe she's a teacher, like she said, in Mandera. The husband works in Nairobi. He doesn't have to be outside countries. Even here in Kenya, as long as you're living separately, what do you expect? Number one, the reason that has taken you far away from your husband is your personal needs, because you want to work.
Exactly.
Which is okay, because you're compensating. You're complementing each other. Because maybe your husband's salary is not enough. It is very much okay, because we cannot just sit there and not work. But this has created it. You cannot assume that your husband will keep waiting for a month.
Okay.
Until you meet.
For his conjugal rights.
Yes.
That is okay.
Or 2 months, because it depends on how much or how frequently you meet. At some point, there will be a woman somewhere. Okay. And like Madam Chania said, it's not only a woman somewhere, there may also be a man somewhere. Because even the woman has conjugal rights to be met. So this empowerment may or may not have contributed. Because we cannot close the door for women to work. We want them to work. We want to be responsible. We don't want to be beggars. You get the point. So at some point, we ask ourselves, what's better? That's why my argument is for polygamy. What's better? Do we want this man to be left single, like waiting for the wife, in quotes, but he has several girls around who come in and out secretly in his life, and when he goes home, he wipes his mouth very well, and there he is with the wife. And the woman is also enjoying himself with some Bentens, some tomboys somewhere, because she'll never do it openly. She's legally married. She did her church wedding, so she has to hide it. These boys have their girlfriends, and so do these young girls have their boyfriends. For me, it's safer if this man has a wife in the city and a wife in the up country. Then the wife in the up country will know my husband has another woman. It will save one side.
If he's not with me, he's with person so
and we can always consult each other.
Interesting view. But Mr. Gakwema, do you think that the only reason or a contributing factor is the
based on what Grace has said, that this distance thing. Because I know of men who still live with their wives. They are still together, but they still go after other women.
I appreciate what my two co-panelists has actually said.
Yeah.
And I'll start by saying that I'm a proud product of a polygamous marriage.
Okay.
My late great-grandfather had 9 wives. So he was called Wakagwema. Then Wakagwema had a son called Kuria who had 3 wives. So I happen to come from that second wife of my grandfather. And you say I cannot be here if there was no polygamy.
Okay. Are you married yourself?
I'm married.
To one woman or
to one wife?
To one
but
wife.
Because of financial limitations, I cannot go because of financial limitations.
Perfect.
I want to say this. They have argued very well about empowerment. Empowerment, as she has said, is the best thing that has ever happened in this country. But I'm sorry, our sisters have taken empowerment on the wrong manner. Because empowerment has sort of come to be like competition in marriage. It's not complementation. It has become competition as opposed to being complementation. Okay. And this is why, when men feel that the heat is too hot there, they just move out and have somebody else. Let's look at it this way. There is a writer. I told you I'm very passionate about family.
Yes.
There is a writer from Germany called Ingrid and Albert Trobich. They are marriage and family therapists. And they have written the 5 needs in a marriage. The needs of a man, the needs of a woman. And in toppling the list of a man, sexual needs actually are there. So when you find a man moving out, there is a need which is not met.
Okay.
Okay? And why is it not met? There are so many drivers that are making women. One of them is empowerment. I'm so empowered. I have my money, I have my salary, I have my everything. You cannot even tell me. So I can deny you conjugal rights because conjugal rights are supposed to be given to the right person. And if your wife feels that you are not the right person, she denies you those conjugal rights. So what do you do? The needs have to be met. Sex, in fact, men marry because they don't want to go out there to hunt every night. They just want to have her here. So at any time you want to fulfill that, you fulfill that, of course, with agreement, you see? So that is actually one driver that is driving polygamy. The other one is that the creation of men, the way men are wired. Men are not wired like women. You are a woman and you can agree with me when I say that you can take a very long time without even having sex, without even thinking of a man.
Exactly.
But a man is not like that. After a few days, after a few weeks, the sperms are manufacturing the body. They want to come out. And why are they coming out? Other than to the wife, and the wife is not there.
Yeah, where is she?
The sidekick has to be there.
Exactly.
And instead of having these sidekicks, why don't you have Gathoni? Why don't you have Kamene? Why don't you have Wajiro in the same cage, in the same house, so that when I'm not in Wajiro's house, I'm in Gathoni's house. So when I'm not in Gathoni's house, I'm in Kamene's house. Right. That will go a long way in even taming the HIV/AIDS spread. Because when I'm there and you don't know whom I am with, the STIs, you know, they will take care of me.
Okay.
Are you there? Again, there is the aspect of aging. Women aren't like men. Of course, there is the issue of menopause. There is also andropause in men.
But that is both in men and women.
Yeah, I'm saying women age faster than men.
Exactly.
And this is why traditionally, a man used to marry many wives. Because if I'm 30 and I'm married to a woman who is 20 or something like that, by the time I'm 60 and she's 45 or something or 50, she'll have stopped those business. But men don't grow in that particular area. So they are very agile, they are very potent. We have had men who have even sired children when they are past 70, 80. Are you there?
Yes.
So traditionally, even a woman used to tell her husband, my dear one, I am actually tired. Can you get a second person for me? It is actually the women who used to go and look for a second wife for the husband. So there are so many drivers of polygamy in this country, let me tell you. And again, I normally say, what's the point of me having girlfriends here and there? Why don't I bring them in the house so that everybody knows that those are my wives? So that they're all together. Because we have witnessed during funerals. You know somebody is getting married. Exactly. We knew he had one wife. Yes. But all of a sudden, 2 or 3 more women appear. Come out. And they say this funeral is not going to take place with the children. Yes. So why should you hide? This is why I'm actually rounding my women left, because she's coming out and saying, come out, guys, don't hide. If you are capable enough, you have financial ability, you have everything that it takes to bring up a polygamous family, do it. Because even our way of life, let me tell you something before I'm cut short. These things were actually destroyed by the coming of the white man. Okay. Because if you remember, as way back as 1935, the white man introduced what's called the heart tax. Do you know the purpose of the heart tax? The heart tax was, the heart, actually in the Kikuyu traditional customs, they used to put up a heart. A heart was a small thatched house. You marry a wife, that is a hatch, that's a heart. They introduced a heart tax. That if you marry an extra wife, you pay heart tax. So it was actually a form of way of discouraging polygamy. Our ways were beautiful, they were good, but the white man came and interfered with it. Lead Gogewadiongo's things fall apart and Chinyura Chebes.
Yes.
You know.
Yes, very true.
River between whatever.
Yes.
I am telling you, our ways were good. And unless we follow polygamy, my friend, this country is going to burn.
The country is going to ban because you're not following polygamy. That's a very interesting perspective. Matania, do you think, as Mr. Gakwema has said, that polygamy helps to curb HIV, AIDS, and STIs?
One thing, okay, right, I'm enjoying this topic very much, but I would ask to be allowed to talk completely on the technical and psychological part of this, because one thing I cannot deny, I'm a product of culture, and the culture that is being asked to add more wives, to have more children. When we talk about polygamy and adding of wives, and I have talked about the revolution of times, okay? And let me say this, and I know a medical person can trust me on this, or biologically. There is nobody who is a sex machine than a woman. But men perceive it differently, because could be, unfortunately the schools have closed, could be what their gadgets can be seen physically, so they perceive it that they are the ones who only need to be sexually satisfied.
Yes.
So when we are talking about a woman away from the husband, let us agree that woman can open a can of worms sexually. And how comes that woman cannot bring in STIs or HIV in the family, whether she's a second wife or a third wife? Thirdly, about mipango ya kando, let us completely forget about polygamy and reducing the infidelity in marriages. The way you got to see the second one, when I was still there, that is how you'll be able to see the third one.
And the fourth one.
And the fourth one. And the fifth one. You
Very
do not
true.
start seeing them after asking permission from your wife.
Very
At
true.
now I want to go and start dating somewhere. You first started secretly or privately until you bring it in. So it is total hypocrisy trying to bring it on the table as right. But let me say today, either with Christianity or without, either with modernization or without, polygamy is not good for our families. Let us come to our youth, because this total topic, and I want to stay away from popularity and away from politics. This topic came out of youth, alcoholism, and not bring up children.
Wow.
Okay?
Okay.
Here is an addict of alcohol or drugs. And I want this person, after recovering for 90 days rehabilitation, of which I also do, to go and bring forth children. With how many wives can he make it? Because when we talk about finances, and Kagwema has talked that he don't have 2 women because he don't have finances, then I doubt where the measure of finances comes in. And who is going to measure who has finances to have a second or fifth wife and who won't have?
Very interesting
Here is
perspective
a
right
youth.
there.
Yes, here is a youth. And we are talking about them having many wives so that they can bring us many children so that the clan or the tribe cannot finish. Where is that person going to get the finances for a second wife?
Thank you very much, Shiro. All right, so I want us to have a look at what Gathoni actually said the other day. She was very vocal about her stand on polygamy. Please have a look at this, and then we shall talk about it.
But sometimes it's good to balance our Christianity with our culture. We need to know whether we are doing the right thing. We need to sit down in our planning board and really have this as a public discussion. Because the more we keep quiet, the worse it becomes. Right now here, we have so many young men who have come here, and they are talking about their mothers. They are not talking about their fathers. And some of them, by the way, the problems they are in right now is because of lack of parenthood. We need to be very honest. Hawa watoto ambao ni wa single mother, mababa zao wako wapi? And why do we want to pretend that this is not a problem? So for me, I'm saying, in as much as we are talking about our church and our culture, we need to go back to the drawing board and discuss this issue and come up with a solution. Now, Wakikuyu, tuwe honest to ourselves. Tuwe honest to ourselves. When we had our polygamous fathers and our forefathers, what wrong did they do? What crime did they commit? And why did we term it as a crime now? If there was no crime they committed, and we were born out of those families, and we excelled, why not go there if that is where we are going to get the solution? We are so pretentious today, and our pretentious lifestyle is what is costing us these problems we have today. So if polygamous is what is going to sort us out, let's go there. Kwani wale wabao wameshikilia mabibi watano 10 wamekufa? Kwani wamepelekwa jela? We interact with the members of parliament in parliament who openly talk about their 4 wives, their 5 wives, and they are okay. If they never owned to those families, maybe they will be street families. And that is why every street child in Nairobi, hapa, enda uulize, every 5th child or 6th child unauliza ni Mukikuyu. Kwa nini tuko na watoto wengi sana Nairobi ambao ni Wakikuyu, ambao ni street children? It's because we are pretentious. We give birth to these children and we don't want to own up to them. So for me, I'm saying, kama wewe ni mwanaume Mkikuyu na unaweza kuweka bibi 5, weka. Kama wewe ni mwanaume na una uwezo wa kulea, lea. Kwani...
All right, there you have it. Very interesting perspective there from Kiambu Women Rep Gathone Wamuchomba. Karibu sana, and she's just joined us on the panel. Karibu, very nice to have you today.
Thank you.
And
Thank
very
you very
nice
much
to have you actually contribute to this particular discussion.
Thank you. I hope I still have my voice because I've spoken quite much yesterday and today.
You still do.
This morning I was on a talk show and I'm so sorry. It has taken quite long.
So speaking about giving solutions to the problems that we have as a society, one of the biggest issues that we do have is single motherhood. Do you think that polygamy is a solution to single motherhood?
Yes, 100%.
100%?
100%.
All right.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah, sure.
When a single woman is living with children, who is the father of those children? Are they made out of osmosis?
Absolutely no.
There may be mistakes that happened so that that woman can be, that led to that woman being single. But if there is an opportunity for the father to get contact with the children, to take care of the children, to father them, because fathering is not paying school fees, it's not paying rent. Fathering the children means having constant contact with the child, socializing that child into what is expected of the society, culturally, spiritually, emotionally, psychologically. The fathers need to do that.
Okay.
And I'm saying this. I know I may not be talking to everybody the way they expect me to talk, but as a leader, I must talk. As Gathone, I must talk, because that is what God made me to be doing.
Okay.
Single women have cried enough in silence. They have struggled enough in silence. And men have been enjoying it all along. It's time to change. It's time for paradigm shift.
It's time to switch the
Men
gears,
must
right?
own up to what they sire. Men must father their children, and the children must be given their right. And I want you to refer to the Kenyan Constitution, Section 52, the rights of a child. What does a Kenyan child deserve? Other than provision, within the Constitution, the child deserves to be protected, and that is what is lacking. The child deserves to be provided, and that is what is lacking.
All right.
So for me, my campaign, let's not be coiled around politics.
Yes.
It's not about mainly polygamy. It is mainly about responsibility in our families.
Okay, perfect. And before you joined us, this conversation is very candid and very open.
Yeah.
And I asked the 3 of them whether they are married and whether they will mind, having a second wife or, being married to another man. And I'd like to ask you the same thing, whether you are married and whether you
Look
will
at
mind.
my face. Am I looking like I'm baldy?
It is a question that...
Let me tell you. I was born in a polygamous family.
Okay.
My father had 3 wives. The latest wife to my father has a 3-year-old child.
Okay.
my latest mom, my youngest mom, my grandpa had 4 wives. I am named after the first wife. I have been socialized in a polygamous family. So I don't mind. If my Robert Bugua decides today
so you
he
wouldn't
would
mind
want
him
to add another one,
bringing another woman
as long as we agree and we are living harmoniously, I do not have a problem.
Okay.
I also do not have a problem if he ever sired a child outside. Maybe he was in 4th form, in secondary, in campus, and he, you know, along the way.
Right now,
even right now.
If
If he has a child outside, I
Perfect.
don't mind. And that is what I'm saying to the women who really wouldn't want to have a co-wife. If you really don't want a co-wife, have a discussion with your husband.
Okay.
Does he have any child outside who is begging for food here in Koinange Street or begging for food in Thika? If he does have a child, why wouldn't you, as a responsible wife, take over that child, provide contact with the father. Let the father do the fathering.
Perfect.
To me, it's nothing to do with the here and there.
Exactly.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
All right.
Yes.
Madam Chania, I would like to know your views on whether you think that polygamy is a solution to single motherhood.
I'll come back to this topic slightly, where we had come from, and I'll still stand with polygamy is not a solution to single motherhood. There are agents, there are factors that contribute to single motherhood, not only by not getting married. One thing we have to agree, it's not every woman in this county of Kiambu, in this country of Kenya, in the world, who is single out of not having a man to marry. We have women who are single out of choice, that I have chosen not to get married. It's not every child who is in the streets is from single families. There are times that we used to correct or to put together all the street children and back to their homes. And trust me, we used to take children back to their homes in Kandara, in Gatanga, in Vika, Kiandutu, and everywhere, and we could find 2 parents. A husband, a wife, and even a second and third wives, all mothers. So it is not every child who is in the street who is out of single motherhood. We have different reasons why people are single. We have people who are single out of being widowed. That is still singlehood. We have people who are single out of irreconcilable marriages. After getting married to that marriage that you have to get married to, then you become single out of some irreconcilable reasons. Because it can be an assault, it can be gender-based violence, and we cannot purposely put that people have to remain in marriages to avoid singlehood, even marriages that are irreconcilable.
Because a lot of people are hiding, like the proverbial ostrich. I'm a grassroots person, and when I'm actually giving seminars and empowerment there in the community, after the seminars, I get a lot of messages from single women.
Exactly.
In fact, even some tell me, Kagwema, you are a counselor, you're a marriage family counselor. Is it possible for you to get us a good man who can marry us? You know, that means the demand is there. They want to get married, but then they are just there. But who can marry them? Coming from the responsibility aspect, as my rep has just said.
Yes.
Men who are responsible are the ones who are married. In fact, yesterday I was talking to another group of women who are telling me that they have no business with these young men who are not responsible. So they want these married men because they are responsible, because they can be able to take care of their wives and children. So they can also take care of these single women. Right. And I want to say, the aspect of single women has got a lot of drivers in the community. And one of them is the past abuses, the past traumas. As a psychologist, I know you can have a lot of abuse in your childhood or in your teenager. You decide, I don't want to have any man around me. So there are so many factors.
All right.
But I want to say this. To cure the aspect of single women, men need to move out there and get an extra woman. Because why should I have 2, 3 girlfriends outside there and I'm saying that I have one wife with 3 children? It is pretentious. Again, our church, our churches, our clergymen out there, they should look at the problem on the face and stop pretending that all is well in the marriage institution.
Exactly. Yeah.
In fact, we have more single women in the church than married women, I'm telling you. We have more single women than married women in the church. Their children are getting baptized, they are done all manner of rituals. So it's a high time we address this thing.
Right.
And to single women out there, do not pretend that you don't want men. You want men because where are you getting children from? You don't get them from trees. or from fruits. You get them from men.
Very
So don't demonize men that they are evil, they are what? We are good. In fact, when we are getting, like this time people are getting birth certificates, you have seen what is happening.
Exactly.
You go there, you need to get the name of the father of the child.
But you don't
see,
even know.
during the rite of passage, when boys are getting circumcised, there's a very big challenge because men want identity, the boys want identity. He's just asking you, Mom, where did I come from? And you are telling the boy your father got crushed by a rolling.
I'd actually like to know your views on this because, as Mr. Gakwema has said here, that young girls are thinking that married men are more responsible. So that's why he thinks that it's okay for us to be allowed, or rather for young women to be allowed to marry, or rather to get married to men who are married.
Yes.
What do you think about that?
Well, when I started talking, I said that my line is purpose. And everything that we are talking about here has an underlying problem.
Exactly.
If it's a single woman who is by choice because of what she went through or what she saw the parents going through and she decided she won't get married, there is a solution to that. So my issue is here, even after listening to everyone here, do we need to cure the leaves or to go down to the roots?
To the roots, exactly.
Because the major thing here is everything that we are seeing. The option of polygamy is not, of course, the best, but it is the only one that we have as for now. When you compare a single family or a one-wife family with 10 concubines, hidden, diseases, emotional instability, because the woman waits for her husband every day. Because I know I'm the only wife. So I expect him to come home every evening. If he doesn't come, he won't pick my calls. He won't respond to my text messages because he can't tell me where he is because he doesn't have another home.
So are you trying to say every man who's married to one wife, he's cheating, or rather he has other girls out there?
To be honest, 90%.
90%?
Yes.
Do you agree with
in
that?
church and outside the church.
It is not even 90%. It is 99.9%.
Thank you.
Okay.
I was just trying to be lenient.
That is the nature of the men. They are created
and
that
I tell
way.
you, men are wired like that.
And you see,
this is why you come across a woman, a good woman like you when you are working together and you are my wife like that and you're working together. Another woman passes. A normal woman will turn around and
that's
look
the
at
point.
that woman because that's the way he's wired.
We have very few minutes left,
and that's why I say
we have very few minutes left.
Actually, because my woman left has actually talked about Kiambu. I want to say this, and I'm appealing to my people.
Very quickly, please.
We are the only people actually who lose actual children out there. These are the communities. I've just lived with them. I've actually done a research.
Okay.
They just don't go through their daughters and sons like that.
Okay, perfect.
So I'm appealing to my fellow Kikuyu men. When you hire a child, please try to help that child or marry that woman. It's not a crime.
Destiny,
God will not condemn you
yes,
because
I was
of marrying
saying
a second wife.
the problem and the solution is, people are not aware. People are ignorant of the rights of a family, the rights of children, and the welfare of that child. Sometimes we think, even as women, sometimes we go saying, if I can support my children, I don't need a man.
Exactly.
And like Honorable Gadoni said, it's not about financially being stable.
Yeah.
It's not about providing food, shelter, and clothes, and education. There are some needs that are psychological. For example, if this is a single mother who has a son and 2 daughters, no man in that house, what do you expect of this boy? What kind of a man will he be? He needs a man in his life. And the issue here is, we are not talking about just getting married. Because you see, you can marry 10 women and not be there. Be an absent husband and an absent father with women, with several women who are legally married to you. The issue is, how responsible are you? You don't have actually to marry that woman if you can be in the life of the children.
Please, your final thoughts, real quick.
I want to go through my final points, point by point. One thing I would like to say, polygamy, even in the whole world, where we have got between 195 to 200 countries, it's only legal in 58 countries, whereby Kenya becomes one of it. Secondly, when we talk about marriage, marriage is not just a matter of adding women, adding women, adding women. Marriage is an institution, and an institution that also has its rules and values. And when we talk about children needing their father figure, I don't know where the 5th wife's children are when the said man is having or providing father figure in the 2nd wife's children. So about emotions and embracing and feeling of the father, these children also suffer the absent fatherhood. Thirdly, and I would like this one
very briefly, please.
Very briefly.
Yes, please.
Thirdly, it's not about hypocrisy. It's about being real. That if we are leading, let us lead the talk. If we can say about financial ability,
right.
we also have the energy, ability of maintaining women. And I said as we began, even women are sex machines. Not only men. So when you're in the affair of the wife, think about how your wife is.
Exactly.
We are going to close the gap of polygamy. We open polyandry.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.